Well, good morning and welcome to 17 Seconds with Helen CERNIGLIARO. And here's Helen.
Hi, good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Helen.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, too.
Well, before we get started and talking about Valentine's Day and love and the law of attraction, it's one of my favorite subjects in the world, and I'm talking about love and the law of attraction combined together. What I always like to tell my listeners is what the law of attraction is all about. And the law of attraction is about the power of positive thinking, expecting good things to happen in your life, not being shocked when they come into your life, but expecting them to come into your life. And also, whatever you focus on expands. Whatever you think about, you get back. You wake up, think you're going to have a bad day. Guess what? It's going to be your bad day. But if you wake up in gratitude and all good things, then that turns out to be a nice day for you. I have to say something about Instagram. I have an Instagram account, and the Instagram slide I wrote yesterday was "Good news is coming. It's on its way to you." I have never had so many comments and happy yeses and amen, and it's on its way to me ever. I have to have had at least 600 people comment about that. And I thought a lot of it was law of attraction Facebook pages. But I have to say, it was really kind of cool that everybody was, feeling the vibe that I was talking about, that good news is coming. And you always have to feel that with the law of attraction, that good news is on the way. Good news, good news. But even when it's not so good news, you have a choice of how you're going to react. And I will say, out of all these positive vibes that I got back from so many people all over the country, all over the world, there was one person that said, "Good news, but not for me." And it made me sad. And I felt the need to respond. And I said to this person, maybe it's not the right time for you. Maybe you're not ready to have whatever it is you want. Or maybe the universe has something better for you on its way. And this or something better now manifests itself for me in the highest good of all concerned. And you also have a choice into how you look at the news you're getting. And you can either see it as a blessing that it didn't happen or a lesson that it didn't happen. So we're going to talk about that because that does tie in with the law of attraction as well. So, Eric, how's your Valentine's Day going, honey?
It's going very well.
Yeah.
Very well. The sun is shining. It's a great day. You know, I was able to make my wife happy. So as long
Awesome.
as mommy's happy, everybody's happy.
When mama's happy, everybody's happy. What's that
Absolutely.
saying? When mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right?
Absolutely.
Well, Valentine's Day. So many expectations go into Valentine's Day. There's pressure. I have a friend sitting off on a couch filling out Valentine's Day cards as we speak. But there's pressure because you think, I don't have a Valentine, I don't have a date for Valentine's Day, or I do have somebody special in my life. What are they going to get me? Did they get me anything? You know, there's sadness, there's loneliness, there's happiness. There's so much pressure to Valentine's Day. And we have to thank the card companies, the candy companies, the flower companies, the jewelry companies. All of these companies, don't kid yourself if you don't think that they're looking to capitalize on it. But today, the law of attraction and the love you seek, and I also want to talk about if you can indeed attract a specific person. And we're going to get to that a little later in the talk. But first, we do have to talk about the law of attraction and thinking about love. Now, remember that the law of attraction is always working for positive or negative, and all thoughts and feelings have energy. So start paying attention to how you feel about love. Because whatever you're feeling, you're going to attract more of the same feeling. Now, I had somebody talk to me just a little while ago, said, I'd really like a relationship, but I'm kind of okay with where I am. But it'd be nice, but I don't know. Yeah, and men's amends type of thing. And the thing I have to say to people like that they'd like to be in a relationship, but they're kind of okay with not being where they are, they're sending mixed messages to the universe. And the universe, I call it God, Goddess, Source, Creator, whatever you want to call it. If you're sending out mixed messages regarding love or any situation regarding the law of attraction, the universe is going to hear mixed messages, and they're going to say, well, they're sending out ambivalent signals. I'm going to send some ambivalent signals back. So you have to remember that. So when you're sending out positive feelings about love, what you're going to get back? You're sending out all the negatives, that's what you're going to get back. I remember talking to somebody years ago, and she said to me, there are no good men left. No good men left. And I looked right at this girl and I said, well, for you, there are none. You want to bet if looks could kill, I would have been 6 feet under. And the reason why is because for her, she feels no good men are left. I meet good men all the time. They're not for me, but I do meet good men all the time. It's all in your attitude. And you have to remember that, girls. It's all in your attitude. And one of my super co-organizers for Law of Attraction Long Island, because I do head up a meetup on Long Island, Law of Attraction Long Island, she has said to me, don't be a nickel looking for a dime. And that's to Cheryl. And what that means is if you haven't got all that going on for you and you want Mr. America and you don't think much about yourself, why would anybody who is so awesome want to be with somebody who doesn't think that they themselves are not so awesome? I hope you're following that. Okay, Mike, did that sound, that made sense, right?
Made
I said
sense
it well?
to me.
Okay, it made sense to you. Very good. Okay, now, remember, the law of attraction is always working for positive or negative. So, the most important thing for the law of attraction to work for you is how you feel and gratitude. How you feel and gratitude. That is so key. And before you can attract anyone in your life, you have to get down with these two things, specific or otherwise. So, let's focus on your feelings. Wanted or unwanted, like attracts like, you have a choice in how you think. And how do you feel today regarding Valentine's Day? How do you feel, Eric, about Valentine's Day? You said you feel good?
I feel good, but it's commercialized. Too commercialized for me. I mean,
I
you
agree.
don't need a day to tell somebody you love them.
I agree with you, but nevertheless, you got your lovely wife, Linda, a card and some candy, right?
I did.
Okay, because you want to acknowledge that you love somebody, and that is what Valentine's Day is all about, but I acknowledge that I love me. I love me very much. So, do I treat myself very nicely? Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. I take me to dinner. I buy me presents. I do all the things that that work for me. Now, in all kidding aside, I have a healthy self-esteem. And that's not a bad thing. I'll tell you something else. This is an interesting story. One day I was talking to a guy that I was interested in, and we were talking, and I said, well, yeah, you know, I do this, and I do this, and I do this. And he said, you know, you're pretty full of yourself. And I said, well, if I'm not, who's going to be? And it kind of shut him up. Did we go out? No. But that's beside the point, is if you don't feel good about yourself, how do you expect anybody else to feel good about yourself? That's the thing I'm trying to say to you. So, feelings and gratitude. Number one, when you're in gratitude, thank you, God, for another day. God bless everyone and everything in my day. Two-legged beings as well as four. I thank you for keeping me safe another day. And I thank you for keeping my loved ones safe, too. My family, my friends, my pets, and their pets, too. I thank you for surrounding me with your love and light. Thanking you for turning on my spiritual electricity. And I thank you for giving me grace and patience to get through this day. I'm always working on the grace and patience. But those are my affirmations every day. I'm always in gratitude. When you're always in gratitude, saying thank you for the little things as well as the big things. Thank you for opening the door for me. Thank you for the cup of coffee. Thank you for, you know, having a great show today on Cop and Crew. If you haven't heard it today, please tune in, listen to it a little later. We had a blast today. We had so much fun. I love when the energy is so high. But being grateful can transfer into all areas of your life: professional, personal, love, health, all of it. And the stronger your feelings are about gratitude, the faster you will be receiving the life and the love that you are truly meant to live and believe in. So let me ask you this. Regarding Valentine's Day, I talked to somebody yesterday, and she said, I have been single for so long. Okay, you've been single for so long. What have you been concentrating on? Being single for so long? Okay, that's all you're concentrating on? I'm never going to meet anybody. That's all you're concentrating on? Guess what? That's what's going to happen. Change your mindset. Change your perception. I sent out another slide last week. Sometimes it's just all a matter of perception. How about enjoying your singlehood, that I'm getting a chance to grow for me? And if you think somebody turns around and said, well, I've been single all this time, you know, I've grown as much as I'm going to grow. choose again. You can always choose to grow spiritually, professionally, materially. Material things are not a bad thing to have, folks, and you have to remember that as well. Okay? It's okay to want nice things. Eric, did you want to say something?
No, I'm listening to you.
Okay, awesome. So, where are you at emotionally regarding Valentine's Day, regarding love? What, what was
Sorry.
Okay, where are you
You
at?
asked.
No, that's very true. Where are you at emotionally?
Like I said, it's too commercialized for me.
Well, yeah, but you still had a nice time with your wife,
Yeah,
and
but I
you
could do
still
that every,
made.
I could do that every day.
Yeah, but you made the effort for Valentine's Day. Listen, there's nothing wrong with making an effort for Valentine's Day. I have to tell you, when a guy says, oh, Valentine's, you can show your love every day. So make a little effort because it might make somebody happy.
Yeah,
And when you're making somebody, and when you're making somebody happy, that raises their vibe, raises your vibe because you feel good because you made your loved one happy. And all it takes, I don't know how many women expect jewelry or God knows what on Valentine's Day. I just like a card, just an acknowledgement. It's not a big deal. But remember, where are you at emotionally for Valentine's Day? I don't have anybody. I'm single. I'm going to be single forever. You got to change that. You got to pivot it around and change it to something with being okay where you are right now, in the now, the present, okay? Because if you've been single in the past is the past. You can't go back. You can't change it. You've had bad experiences. Let it go. You can't change it. And if you did have bad experiences in the past regarding love, what did you learn? And not only what did you learn, if you're glad to not be with that person, then it's a blessing. So you have to remember that as well. So try to experience emotions on the positive ends of the scale, even if it was a bad experience. What did you learn? What was the blessing? And remember, you had a choice, whether you stayed in the relationship or not, it was your choice. No matter what, and I don't want to hear about this, but no matter what excuses you might have said or thought to stay in a bad relationship, it's still on you. You still made the choice. Sorry, folks, that's how I feel. Now, remember, forgiveness is really important when you're leaving a bad relationship. You can forgive somebody and move on. Because I have read of all sorts of experiences where people have forgiven other people, even for murdering their children. But I'm not getting into any of that negative stuff. My point being is people can forgive other people. And when you're in a state of forgiveness, that raises your vibration. Because remember, with the law of attraction, we always want a high vibration. We always want high energy, okay? That's so very, very important. Because let me ask you a question. Do you want to be around a bitchy person that brings your energy down, somebody who's constantly complaining that everything is going wrong in their life? Or do you want to be with somebody that is saying, hey, how you doing? Let's do this. How you been? And you bring your vibration up, somebody that brings a smile to your face. So you have to think about that as well. If you're a constant complainer, you got to change. You have to change. It's simple as that. Start looking for things that are good in your life. You start with the gratitude. That's so very important. Now, when you're in energetic alignment with what you want, you're thinking about what you want, raises the vibration. So very important. Think about this. Is this true or not? You cannot feel happiness when you're unhappy. It actually makes sense. I know it sounds dumb, but really think about that. You can't be loving when you're angry. How many of you walk around angry all the time? You cannot feel courage when you're fearful, being afraid of getting to a relationship, afraid of intimacy, both mentally and physically. Can't do that. You cannot feel up when you're down. Why would you want to be down all the time? Good question. Or you cannot feel giving thanks when you're not, when you're resentful or frustrated or angry or any of the negative stuff, which I call the gunk master. The gunk master is all the stuff that's, I just hit the microphone, is the stuff that's in the back of your head, all the stuff that brings you down, your conscious self that tells you you're not good enough, you're not worthy for love, you don't deserve it. All that stuff, that's the conscious self. We don't pay attention to him anymore. At least seasoned law of attraction practitioners don't pay attention to them anymore. The gunk master, he can hit the bricks. We don't pay attention to him. But those things are very, very true. You can't feel loving when you're angry. It does make sense. And some people might think that this is a very basic thing that I'm talking about, but it's true. And sometimes with practicing the law of attraction, you have to get down to basics. Because I know a lot of people say they practice the law of attraction, they practiced it for a week, it doesn't work. Well, number one, you have to give it time. And you have to give it time and you have to work at it because you have to have some mental muscle with the law of attraction. And if you're thinking you're just going to close your eyes and your white knight is going to come galloping up the driveway saying, "Here I am."
Sorry.
Thank you,
Sound
dear.
effects. You're welcome.
That was very good. But it just doesn't work that way. Because you always have to remember when you want something, and this is key, I should have mentioned it a few minutes ago, you always have to take action. Action that feels good, inspired action. This is from Abraham Hicks, it's Law of Attraction 101. If you want something, you want to meet somebody, what kind of action are you going to take? You're going to sit in your living room watching, Bridget Jones eating the ice cream? Been there, done that. But how about you go online?
Is that on today?
I don't know, probably somewhere.
Good.
But seriously, you can't sit home and just say, I want to meet somebody, and then expect, it doesn't happen that way. You have to.
Sorry.
That's okay. I love that. No, that's adorable. But you have to think, what are you going to do to make that happen? Go online, do single mingles, tell your friends you're looking to date somebody. Be brave, go on a blind date. You never know. You just never know. But you have to take action that feels good. Now, if you're afraid, a little fear is okay. But if you're paralyzed with fear, as a coach, if somebody is paralyzed with fear with something, because as a coach, you just don't dwell on the past, you help people move forward. Then you need to talk to somebody, and that is above my pay grade, where you need to talk to someone about working through your fears. You have to remember that too. That's really, really important. So when you're in that negative spot and you say you want to meet somebody, but you're still, I've been single for so long, there are no good men left, men are cheaters, women are gold diggers, you're going to be in that spot and you're not allowing anything in. You're just stuck in the negative muck and mire, and that just doesn't work. So my question is, how do you feel about love in general? In general. Okay, positive or negative? Like I said, all the good men are taken, women are gold diggers, he's a couch potato, women are crazy. Any other ones, Eric? Watch it.
No, you're doing really well. You got it together today.
Okay, but here's the thing. The power of expectations from another person is huge. And what you expect and what you're vibrating is exactly what you're going to get. But you have to remember something. If you have a preoccupied vision of doomed love, I met this girl or I met this guy, I really like him, it's probably not going to work. Where are you at? What are you thinking? Okay? You're projecting. You're already projecting a doomed love. You're already projecting that it's going to go down the tubes, and it probably will. Because here's the thing. You're going to find fault in something that your potential partner does, and you're going to capitalize on it, and then you're going to keep going. But I have news for you, everybody. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect, and that's including you out there. That's really, really important. Have you ever heard this from a guy or girl? I'm really bad at relationships. Well, guess what? You're really bad at relationships because people are actually viewing themselves in a bad light. No, it's true, Mike. They view themselves in a bad light. I'm not very good at this. Well, you know what? What could you do to change to make it work, especially if you like the person? I'm not good at relationships. Let's put our big people pants on and work at a relationship. You know what? Sometimes it takes effort. And a lot of people, I have noticed, when they're ready to throw in the towel on a relationship, they don't want to do the work because they have this preconceived notion of how perfect a relationship needs to be, and then they give up. Then they throw in the towel. Well, then you might have given up on one of the best relationships you could have ever had. And that's really important. So what do you feel about how you are in relationships? That has a lot to do whether a relationship is going to succeed or not. Okay, now, When if somebody told me that I wasn't good at relationships, that would be a very red flag for me. Because that means to me, well, you don't want to work on it. Maybe you are a cheater where, you know, you lie to people. Anybody that says that, that's a real big red flag where I'd say, let me think on this again. So if you were in a relationship that you wanted, you met somebody, wouldn't you want to make effort to make it work? Doesn't that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So how do you feel about yourself? You said you're bad at relationships. Do you like yourself? Do you like yourself? Now I'm going to ask you to do something real quick. Take a moment.
Sorry, I got all excited here. I was coming in the other room.
Oh, I've been waiting. Now, take a back. I'm working.
Really
here.
be 17 seconds.
I'm working here.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, all
Go
right.
ahead. Hi,
I want
Mike.
to-
Mike out there?
Yeah, Mike is observing. Think about take about.
I throw you off.
Yes, you threw me
Throw
off.
your concentration. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Think about 5 things you don't like about yourself. 5 things you don't like about yourself. Seriously. La la la, la 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 la. Okay, 5 things. You're up to 10, Eric, I think? No, you're probably up to 15. Oh, I see 20. No.
Sorry, no, there's quite a few things I don't like about myself.
Okay,
yes.
but here's the thing. Now take another moment and think about 5 things you like about yourself.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I'm willing to bet that the majority of you could think about 5 things you didn't like about yourself right quick. 1, 2, 3, boom. And the likable things about yourself, the 5 things you liked about yourself, took a little bit more time. Think about that one for a minute. What does that say to you? What does that say? What does that say? Seriously.
Basically, that there are things I like and there are things I don't like.
Okay, but it was so easy for you to go. I saw you. Eric is in the sound booth, and when I said think about 5 things you don't like about yourself, he's going 1, 2, da, 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 and he's counting on his fingers. And then for the 5 things you do like about yourself, you got a little standoffish with me, like, and that's really, really important because if you can't think about 5 things that you do like about yourself right off the bat, how do you expect anybody else to like you?
Very true.
So if you've got any issues you don't like about yourself, you're not good enough, you don't feel worthy enough to receive love, anxiety, worry, dislike, low self-esteem, you name it. What about, I don't have enough money, I'm not pretty enough, not thin enough, I'm not smart enough. If you have any of those things going on, what are you obsessing about yourself? And the question is what does that do to your love vibration of what you're sending out to the universe? Gee, I really like this person, but I don't have enough money.
Yeah.
Gee, I really like this person, but I'm not thin enough to what he might think his expectations could be.
Okay.
I threw that one out the window a while ago, and I'm not one of my co-hosts. Little Lisa is 4'11", size 0. I am not
Wow.
4'11" and a size 0.
Sorry.
But I am not going to say what size I am. I'm a size 10 or a 12. So
All right.
I'm a big girl. I'm a healthy girl.
Wow.
But the thing is I don't care about that anymore. I mean,
Right.
of course I care about my health and my appearance, and I always look nice and everything like that.
You do.
But the thing is I do obsess about that, but I am past it now where I'm not just a number on a scale because so many women obsess about that. I know so many women that have beautiful figures, and I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that. It's like I just want to, first of all, I want to smack them.
You see the commercials on TV now? They actually have girls, like large women, dancing around in their underwear.
Well, you know what? I don't think that's such a bad idea because the average American woman is a size 14, 5'4".
Right.
I'm pretty close.
Okay.
So that being said, the thing is we're all we concentrate on too many things that bring out the negative of us and in us, and then we get afraid to make a love connection. So we've got to get past all that because we're worthy, we're worth it. We're not just a number on the scale, we're not just a height, we're not just a dollar sign, we're not just material things. And if that's all you're looking at, let me tell you, if you're counting on that to make you happy, I will tell you one thing, it'll make you happy initially, but then when your partner sees that that's all you're counting on and all you're thinking about, your relationship's going to go down the tubes unless you're one big, great big liar. And, you don't want that either. You don't want a relationship like that. So the nitty gritty of it all is before you can find a love connection, and on Valentine's Day, or like Eric said, any day, any time, making a love connection, you have to think about self-love. What do you love about yourself? Where were those 5 things that we just talked about that you like about yourself? Did you come up with any yet? That's really important. And the universe and all the people in it will only be as good to you as you are to yourself. I'm going to repeat that. The universe and all the people in it will only be as good to you as you are to yourself. It all stems down to how you relate to your own being. And that's really, really important. By having no love for yourself, you block the way for others to love you. You block the way for the others to love you. I've seen license plates, driving down the road where there was a woman, I assume it's a woman driving, I didn't see it, but on her license plate it said bitch. And I thought, well, now why do you want the entire world to know you're a bitch? Because automatically I would think, I'm steering clear of you. You might try to cut me off. You might, you might do something. But it was on her license plate, and I don't get there. Or something on a guy's truck, bad boy. Well, you're telling me you're a bad boy, so are you bragging about it? Are you just saying this is who I am? So, I told you ahead of time I'm a bad boy. Well, you know what? Take your bad boy self and go away, because you're just showing the world of who you are. And I think that that gets a little skewed after a while. I really do think that doesn't work. By choosing to stay in a cycle of negativity and dwelling on what isn't rather than what could be, the universe isn't clear on what you want. You're sending out ambivalent messages. The lady with the bitch on her license plate, I want a boyfriend, I can't seem to meet anybody. Yeah, but you're driving around with bitch on your car, and you're wondering why that's not going to happen. I would steer clear of somebody like you. Or when somebody walks into a room, and I have never done this, and I have a personal pet peeve about that. I'm sure some of you don't. But when somebody walks in a room and says, hey, bitches, it's like, I'm not a bitch. What? Why? And I know they mean it as an acceptable form of saying hello to somebody. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work. I find it off-putting, to tell you the truth. So when you feel good about you and practicing positive energy, that's what you are positively attracting. Loving yourself tells the universe you are worthy of love, that you are becoming a vibrational match for love, and you draw love in, and positive outcomes come to you. And if by chance you meet someone and you're not a vibrational match, chances are the relationship will not last. And we'll go into that in a little bit, in a little while. Now, you have to ask yourself, do you want to be around an unhappy, a negative person? And is that person you? Would you want to date you? Would you want to date you?
Yeah, I'm a good date. I really am.
Are you?
In all seriousness, yeah.
Okay.
I would date me in a serious fashion.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right.
I
I know that about you.
I would buy myself dinner first before anything happened.
Okay, well, I'm glad about that,
It's
okay.
kind of personal.
All right, okay. I knew it was oh my gosh, I knew it was going downhill.
Sorry.
That's okay, but that's okay, because if you feel that you are somebody you would want to date, then that's a good thing.
I wouldn't eat a lot because, I wouldn't want to embarrass myself on the first date.
Oh, I'll tell you, Eric, that's so funny that you said that. Every single first date I've ever gone on, and this is Helen's own insecurities, I have never been able to finish an entire meal. And I am a girl that I can out-eat you, and I can out-eat you. It's too funny. But the thing is I am somebody I would like to date. So you have to think about that when you're looking to meet somebody. Would you like to date you? But the thing is you have to think honestly and deep inside your head whether you would want to date somebody or date yourself or not. And that's really important. And that's very telling. Very telling.
I have to decide if I was going to call myself for a second date or not. It depends on.
All right. Did you call yourself for a second date?
Of
Hi, I had
course.
such a great time with me.
Of course.
Okay, well, that works. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Your host of your show, 17 Seconds with Helen CERNIGLIARO. Well, she has a website. It's www.helencernigliaro.com. Let me help you out with that. It's HELEN. That's first off. That's Helen. And it's CERNIGLIARO. HelenCERNIGLIARO.com. She's a transformational coach, a motivational speaker, a radio host, of course, a mentor, an entrepreneur, a strategist, a leader, and an author. And once again, her website is chock full of all the information you need to help yourself. And of course, law of attraction is what I would like to say is her main thoroughfare down the road of the Helen CERNIGLIARO website. And basically, you hear her on the morning show and you hear her on this show. She's a fabulous person. She's got a lot to offer. Also, with her over 50 motivational speeches that she has out there that she's done to standing room only crowds, and that's a fabulous thing. And why don't you tell everybody about that if you would for a little bit?
Well, I just had such a great time. This was last year for the over 50 crowd. It was the over 50 fair, someplace in Suffolk County. I forgot where. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
Hyatt at the
Hyatt, yes.
The Hilton or the
The
Hyatt.
Hilton Hyatt.
It was one of
Hilton.
those places.
Hanoi Hilton. I
Comac
forgot.
Motor Inn.
Yeah.
Stop. What?
But it was a lot of fun, and we talked about reinvention. And a lot of times at midlife, both men and women think about what they want to change in their life, whether they want to change their career, their relationships, relocate, health. There's so many things that we can reinvent ourselves with, and I gave a talk about that, and it was standing room only. It was so much fun, so much positivity in that room, and that is my platform, that as we get middle-aged, we begin to think, okay, we're going to start retiring. We want to do something different now in our lives. We want to try something different, or perhaps to make a change, perhaps stay in a relationship or enter into a new relationship. And it is all about reinvention. So thank you very much for that, Eric. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And now back to 17 Seconds with Helen CERNIGLIARO.
Okay, so my question now is, what are your expectations or dominant thoughts about relationships? We talked about this before. Men are cheaters, women are gold diggers. What are your expectations? He's a couch potato, she's a slob, you know, everybody's in one but me. It's hard work, they never work out. What have you got that you're thinking about your expectations of relationships? Because if you're going in with that negative attitude, guess what? Just ain't going to happen. So my next question is with the law of attraction, since we're talking about the power of positive thinking, and I'm talking about all this negative stuff because I want you to be aware of what your feelings can do when you're trying to meet somebody and make that love connection. So now I want you to think about, when you're thinking positively, is what do you believe is possible for yourself in a relationship? What do you think is possible? I know so many women that have gone out with guys just a few times and they're already planning the wedding. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but sometimes I do, not sometimes, I take that back. Be in the now. Enjoy the now. Don't be planning the wedding. Don't be planning the baby. Don't be planning God knows what else. But just be in the now. A lot of people think relationships are hard work. They should not be hard work. I think there is a difference between hard work and effort. Effort is when you are wanting to do something for somebody. That, yes, it's going to take that effort, but when it's work, I consider work when you don't want to be doing something and it's drudgery and you have to be there. I will tell you very quickly that being here at 17 Seconds and Cop and Crew in the morning, I am living my dream. Most of you know, if you do listen to me, I am not a morning person. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and bound out of bed to get here. No lie, I'm on the road by 6 a.m. And it's because I love what I do. And let me tell you, if I thought this was drudgery, I would be sleeping through the alarm clock, no lie. But I get out of bed and I run, take a quick shower, I feed the animals, I, get dressed and everything else. I put the news on immediately because in Cop and Crew, that's what we're about. And I get here. But the thing is, it's an effort for me to do that. It's not drudgery. I'm happy to do it. And that's my point for telling you that. Now, if you want someone else to love and adore you, you have to love and adore yourself first. That's so key. So how do we begin to love ourselves? Okay, self-care, appreciation for good things, gratitude, improved self-talk, taking your power back. That's what makes you worthy. Take your power back. First of all, I don't give power to anybody else anymore. I remember when I first came on the air, Eric told me I had a hater. And I was so excited that I had a hater because it means I'm getting somewhere, somebody's listening to me. But it didn't bother me. And my producer, who was ever so kind to me, he said, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" I said, "No, I have a hater. This is so great." So don't start hating me, everybody. But I'm just saying that it didn't bother me because I'm at a place where most of the time, derogatory things don't bother me anymore. But remember, I'm only human. And I will get tweaked every once in a while, but then I catch myself because everybody's human, nobody's perfect, including myself. So you got to remember that. But to do self-care, treat yourself nice. Eric took himself to dinner. Eric took himself to dinner. I get my hair done. I get my nails done. I go to dinner with my friends, go to dinner with a boyfriend. You know, I do things that make me happy. And appreciation for good things that you do. Pat yourself on the back. If you do something nice for somebody, enjoy that good feeling that you did something nice. That's really, really important. Now, you have to remember this doesn't happen overnight. Again, everybody, when you're practicing the law of attraction, and if you're new to it, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. It doesn't work like that, everyone. You got to practice at it. Okay, you have to use a little bit of your mental muscle. That's really, really important. What I call, after a while, you're practicing and practicing and practicing, you get that click that you say, oh, wow, I'm not thinking in a positive vein. Let me just switch it over. Let me pivot to a more positive way of thinking regarding the situation, and then it makes it a little bit easier to go forward. And that's important because we can put a negative connotation to almost every situation that we're in. I prefer not to do that. As a matter of fact, it's a lifestyle. I don't do that. If something negative is in my life, I say, what's the lesson, what's the blessing, and now I move on. That's really, really important. So how do we use the law of attraction to attract the love we want? Number one, you have to be okay with where you are right now. You have to be okay with being single. You have to be okay with that. Because if you're thinking about the past is the past, let it go. If you're thinking about the future, think about it in a positive vein where you say, I know he or she is on his way. I know the love of my life is on his way. That's a good thing to think about. But in the meantime, don't make yourself miserable thinking that he's not there and where is it and why aren't they there? Because when you're focusing on where is the person, you're focusing on the lack. Again, when you're focusing on the lack, what are you throwing out to the universe? God, Goddess, Source, Creator, whatever you want to call it. You're thinking about where is he? You're being impatient, you're being angry, you're being anxious, you're being negative, and that's what is coming back to you. So you have to say, I'm okay in the now, and right now I'm going to enjoy being in the now, and I'm going to do self-care, and I'm going to enjoy myself now. I'm going to do things that make me happy now. Because when you're happy, your vibration is raised. When you're happy, good things come to your way. When you're happy, your energy is up, and you're not sitting home eating ice cream, watching Bridget Jones' Diary, just saying. Okay? You have to remember that. That's really important. Get comfortable with being in the now, being in the present. So, how do we get on board the love train? Appreciate the beauty in all things. In all things. Try to remember a time you had a great affection for anything or anyone. Try to put yourself in that vein. Okay? Now, if you're thinking about someone that it didn't work out with, put that part to the side and just remember. I love that song. But if you're remember how you felt for just that time, feeling great affection for just this one person or a pet. Or anything, say if you love a pet rock or something like that. But just for a moment, focus on that feeling and try to put that feeling into your memory bank and call upon it when you need to. Use your imagination to feel, to act as if you are in a happy, rewarding relationship. Have fun with it. It's your imagination. And if your imagination, the gunk master steps in and says, no, 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 that's happened to me from time to time. You know what you do? Say, gunk master, hit the road, it's my imagination, and rewire it, and rewire your thinking to go with the imagination that you're having fun with. That's really important. Now, as you're doing that, let go and be open to the experience of meeting someone, being open to the experience. Now, What you do with opening that experience. Okay, get online, go to a single mingle, tell your friends. If you need a new haircut, get a new haircut. Would that make you feel better? If you need some new clothes, go get some new clothes. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg uh, for new clothes. I was an image consultant for a little while. You can get 4 good pieces and have a bunch of wardrobes with those 4 good pieces. That's very easy. And take action. And the reason why action is so important is because, like I said, you can't sit on the couch eating that ice cream. You have to take some kind of action that's going to make you feel good. Now, this is a very important question that I know a lot of people are thinking about. Can you indeed attract a specific person? Oh, Mike's paying attention now. Okay, here we go. So, the answer is yes and no. Okay, there's a double-edged sword to this. Yes, you can attract a specific person, but you cannot force them to go out with you or start a relationship. Now, here's the difference. They have their own free will, like you have your own free will. You cannot force or convince or manipulate a person to do anything they don't want to do. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to convince somebody to do something they didn't want to do? Say to go out on a Friday night. Come on, let's go out. Let's go have a good time. Come on, come on, come on, let's go. And they just didn't want to go. And the more you harangued them and the more you nagged them and the more you said, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, what did they do? I am willing to bet that they dug their heels in and said, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. They were resisting what you wanted. So you have to be willing to let go when you've attracted this person, and you can suggest, cajole, get cute, and say, why don't we go out sometime? Or why don't we have a drink? Or why don't we have lunch? But as the saying goes, he might not be just not into you, and that's really important. Now, convincing and manipulating. If you can convince someone to go out with you, because I jumped the gun here in what I was saying, convincing versus manipulating. Convincing someone to go out with you is you're saying, hey, let's go out, let's have a good time, and you are saying the benefits to both you and this prospective mate, that these are all the benefits to going out with me. There's this, 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 and this. And then your prospective mate might say, you know what? Okay, let's give it a shot. He's going in with a positive attitude. He or she going in with a positive attitude, and you're going to give it a shot. If somebody is manipulating you into going out with them, they are lying. They're only worried about themselves and their own benefits, and they're manipulating you. And at that point, let's talk about vibrations for a moment. When you convince somebody, here's your vibration here, and you've convinced them here. So they're going, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Your vibrations are the same. And they might work and they might not work, but here you're taking the chance and you're making a go of it. When somebody is manipulating you, okay? Manipulating. Okay? They're just lying. They're not having integrity. They don't have a real good vibration, because lying is not good vibes, okay? You're there, but they convince you, okay? And then, or they manipulate you into going out, okay? So you're there. But pretty soon, this person is going to realize this person lied, and then you're going to go like that. It's never going to last. That's really, really important. Now, that's really, really key between convincing and manipulating. But suppose you really do like somebody and you're attracted to them and you're trying to make a go of it with them, and they're not so sure, but yet you're sure. You have to be willing to let them go. And the reason why you have to let them go is because if you hang on, when you're hanging on to somebody, okay, and they're trying to get away, resistance, okay? And then it goes like that, and then that's it. So that's the really important thing. You have to be willing to let them go, and then when you don't really care so much, or you're not so concerned much about it, maybe, just maybe, they'll come back. But when you act desperate, or you really need to talk to them, or you really need them in your life, What are you focusing on? I need them in my life. You're focusing on lack. You're focusing on, I got to have them there. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. But when you let it go and you're okay with it and say, if this works out, this is great. This or something better now manifests itself for me in the highest good of all concerned, then it could happen. And that's really, really important. And then you have to remember also, do you really like this person, or do you like the idea of this person? And sometimes that's really important. What ideas do you like about this person? Do they have a lot of money? Or do they take you out a lot? Is she really a trophy girlfriend or a trophy wife or something like that? So you have to really think whether you genuinely like the person themselves or the ideas of the person. That's really important. And what if it doesn't work out, okay? What if it doesn't work out? The things you have to think about is the universe is saying, well, something better could be coming along. This person is not right for you. Or also, this person doesn't fit into your life right now. And that happens to be key. Sometimes timing is everything. But I'm going to take it one step further. With the universe, timing is everything. And so I'm going to go back to that thing that I put on Instagram just yesterday. Good news is coming. It's on its way to you. I have never had so many responses for an Instagram in my life. As I said, it went all over Facebook pages, which was pretty cool. But everybody wants good news. Everybody does. So I just had to say that because I thought it was really cool. But anyway, what if it doesn't work out? You've attracted this person. Okay, it's not a go. What if you could have something better? And what if you looked at it as a blessing and a lesson, saying, what if I could have something better? What if I didn't have to work so hard to convince somebody to go out with me? That's something you have to remember, too. What if you were open to the possibilities of love? What if you were open to meeting somebody in any old way possible? That you didn't meet them online, you didn't meet them through friends, you didn't meet them on a blind date. Suppose you were just gassing up your car and the other guy on the other side said, hey, how you doing? Then what would you do? Because you're open to it. And that's really important too. And also, I would say, folks, you have to become the ideal person that you would want to be in a relationship with. Okay? So if you're no bargain, think about it. Why would anybody want to be in a relationship with you? That's really important. So now, you have to remember, can you make somebody love you, i.e. attract a specific person? We just talked about this. The first rule of the law of attraction is you cannot, I mentioned this, you cannot manifest someone else's reality or be responsible for how anyone else feels. And that's really important. And I've seen a lot of broken hearts trying to manipulate somebody else into going out with them. You cannot control anybody else, but you can influence them. Do you ever meet someone, or not meet someone, say you're talking to one of your best friends, okay? And they're having a bad day, and they're just grumpy and complaining, and your vibration is slowly coming down. Have you ever made the effort to make them laugh and make them smile? You've influenced them, made them laugh, and bring up their vibration. A lot of this stuff is very basic. It really is. But you know what? It's very important that we become aware of these things. Because a lot of times, we don't even know what we're doing when we're thinking about negative thoughts about ourselves or about a potential relationship, or if we want a relationship. That's really key for people to remember. Because so many times we're just in that mode of, I'm very lonely, it's never going to work out, another weekend by myself. Give yourself some time and be kind to yourself. It's very, very important. So you always have to remember, no matter who you pick out, it is up to them to reciprocate the feelings. It's not up to you. So let's see. Eric, are you there?
I'm here, right here.
I'm almost through. I have another few minutes to go. We're going to end just a little bit early.
Okay.
But let me see. All right. Let's say you let go of that specific person in your life and you're ready to let a new love into your life. You're ready for a new love to come into your life. What are your feelings about meeting somebody new? Again, do we have those old feelings coming back? It's probably not going to work out. She's probably going to end up being a bitch, a gold digger. Are you excited? Are you open to it? Are you enthusiastic? Because have you ever heard anybody said, well, you know, I've been hurt before. I got to tell you, I think that's the biggest crock. It's like if you're not willing to give it a shot, put the big boy pants on, big girl pants on, really. You know, I've been hurt so many times before. Personally, I think that's an excuse just to say I'm not really interested. But do you have good vibrations with with this person? Are they a match? Are you in a healthy state of mind? And what obstacles do you need to overcome to move on to enter into this kind of relationship? Are you willing to have emotional intimacy?
You know,
Yes.
when I was younger, all right, because Linda's my third marriage, you know, and she's my soulmate. When I
Yes.
was younger, anytime a relationship failed, I always looked for another relationship. And at this point, I think when you finally found what you're looking for with Linda, if it didn't work out because, you know, for whatever reason, I don't think I would. I'm not. I mean, my whole attitude towards that whole thing has changed. I'm not. I don't think I'd look for another relationship. I would instead of. There's a difference between looking for a relationship and allowing a relationship to come to you.
Go on.
So, you know, I would. It's not. I'm not. It's like my whole attitude about that whole thing has changed because it's like, you know, you keep searching for that one person that's going to, you know, complete you. And then when you find it, how do you, you know, when you feel that you found someone that completes you, how do you compete with that?
I would think, well, the universe has made it work out with you and
Right.
Linda because I can see how you two feel about each other just by how you talk about each other.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of joking going on, but you can tell that there's genuine affection there. But I think, Eric, were you comfortable with yourself before you met Linda that you were open to meeting somebody? I would say
I was
you
open,
were.
but I was open, but it wasn't, you know, it's, I don't know. I didn't expect to meet Linda, you know, and have a relationship like I do, you know?
Well, but I think that's saying right then and there, you were open to meeting somebody, but it wasn't going to be the be all and end all of your existence if it didn't happen. Could I safely say that?
Say it again. In other words,
That you were open to meeting somebody,
right.
but if it didn't happen, you were okay with it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the law of attraction right there. You weren't trying so hard. The universe blessed you with a wonderful woman, and you know you've made it work. And I think you put a lot of effort into it, except for the beef jerky story, which we're going to let go. He got her beef jerky one year for
2 years
Valentine's Day,
ago.
2 years.
2 years ago.
She forgave him. God bless her. But in all seriousness, I think that says a lot. That you were open to love. If it didn't work out, you were okay. You were willing to let go of it, and you were willing, I think, to just go on. And I think that's a good place to be because, again, when you meet somebody, if it doesn't work out, you chalk it up to experience. You put it in the past, you move on, but you get comfortable with where you are right now. And my parting thoughts would be for somebody who is not in a relationship right now is get comfortable with yourself right now. Practice self-care, practice self-love, practice self-talk, and let yourselves be comfortable and happy in the now. Because if you keep dwelling on that there's no romantic interest in your life, that's all you're going to attract because that's all you're thinking about. So if you're not happy with things in your life, work on them. It's a process. Trust the process. With the law of attraction, it's never finished. We're never going to get the journey done. We're always changing. We're always growing. We're always evolving. That's really, really important that you realize that. And once you get comfortable with being in the now and being comfortable with where you are and practicing self-care, self-love, self-talk, you're going to raise your vibration because you're comfortable and you're content where you are right now. And when you're content where you are right now, your vibration is high. You're willing to allow things in. You're willing to take the action that feels good to get you on the journey to meeting the love of your life. Thank you, everybody, for listening today. I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day. If you don't have a Valentine in your life, be your own Valentine. Have a great week, and thanks for listening.